Hi guys, welcome again. So this week we're going to be looking at tone, and namely what it is, why do people want it, and how you can go about getting it. Tone is a very interesting area of discussion because really and truly tone isn't real. There isn't a real definition for tone. Tone is from the root tonus, which is the concept of creating some tension within the muscle that's consistently there. So it's like a hardness or firmness of that muscle. Now this definition has been sort of reappropriated in health and fitness, and it now sort of means some level of definition within the muscle, some shaping within the muscle, some kind of leanness within the limb or the muscle, the area you're trying to tone. And the reason why that's significant is because when someone comes to me and says, I want to tone up, really, I don't know what that means for them because each person has a different understanding of what tone actually looks like. For some people, it can be very little kind of shape around the muscle. It can be more about how lean it is. For others, it can be some level of shaping. So it varies from person to person. The other factor that comes in with tone is training style. So typically speaking, you can train for strength by working in a lower rep range, and you can train for endurance by working in a higher rep range. Somewhere in the middle, you'd work hypertrophy, which is where you try and build the muscle size. So where does tone fit? Well, tone doesn't really fit within the scientific definitions of what you should do. And this inherently causes a problem because in order to get the right stimulus to cause the right result, you need to understand what training style will affect and benefit your muscle in the way you want in order to tone it. So what we could be looking at here is, for some people, that could mean working at a lower rep range initially before working to a higher rep range to get the result. For others, it could just be a case of simply sticking to 10 to 12 reps for every exercise in order to get the right result. And that varies from person to person and can vary from time to time. So what works for one person initially might then not work for them down the line. So tone is a very kind of clouded, difficult to define area. Everyone has their own understanding of what it is, but everyone has their own unique understanding of what it is, and it's very difficult to then bring that into reality. So let's discuss it in more practical terms. What we can say here is that we don't really have a firm, solid definition of tone. And because we don't have a firm, solid definition of tone, it's very hard to get the result you want. So what can we do? Well, we can try and strengthen the muscle, and that will make it more dense. We can try and work around endurance, which will make that muscle potentially smaller but more robust. Or we can try and bulk that muscle out to make it a bit more sort of bubbly looking, a bit bulkier. And those three different types aid the shaping of muscles. So for example, certain people, when they want to work their butt, will want to do things that make that look more bubbly. Same with the biceps. Whereas for other people who want quite slim legs, you'd want to do something more endurance based. And equally, someone who wants a denser, harder look, say to the chest or to the shoulders, you might want to work into a more of a strength phase. So it's very difficult to gauge the progress in the muscle development work you've been doing without first being able to see some level of body fat reduction to see that definition grow. So you also need to work around body fat, which is what we were saying last week when we were discussing how you could lose weight and what successful methods you could then undertake. So between these two factors, that really is how you would work around tone. So the takeaway point here is that tone is individual. And by and large, when people tell you that you can tone up by doing this exercise or that exercise, there's a grain of truth to that. But the reality is that it's not just the exercise, it's the training style, and it's specific to what you need that will get you the result you want. So as always, guys, you can press the subscribe button on the page to get regular updates of these and to keep following as we produce them. They'll be done every Friday, and we'll be covering a range of different subjects. Great. See you soon.